Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. And if you're new, welcome. I'm Jennifer, and I'm an artist and illustrator, and I like to paint all sorts of whimsical ideas that pop into my head, and today's speed paint is no exception. I figured this video would be a great chance to show you my watercolor process and chat about some things. I also have a question from Instagram that I thought I could finally answer. So first, let me introduce this little ferret painting. He is the second in a series of animals adventuring. The first in the series I showed at the beginning of this video, and I'll show again at the end. I painted a badger exploring in space and loved the idea of some sort of woodland creature being portrayed in some sort of unlikely scene. I really love the storybook quality of that illustration and felt that there just had to be some sort of companion piece. This is where the ferret exploring the ocean came to be. I loved that I could mirror the suit each animal was wearing, since a spacesuit and diving suit are pretty similar, and both outer space and the ocean contain stars. I also thought I could get away with painting a galaxy and the ocean in a very similar way. I'm really happy with the outcome of each of them, and I think together they look really great. Okay, on to the question I was asked on my Instagram, which, by the way, you guys can follow me on Instagram and Twitter with the handle Jennifer Charlee, all one word, no spaces. And feel free to ask me questions there as well as on my videos, and I'll do my best to answer them in future videos. I'm pretty active on both platforms, and I'd love to interact with you guys more on either one. Okay, on to the question. So this question was asked on my Instagram by GoToJL. I believe I'm saying that right, I hope I am. And she asks, is it best to practice all kinds of art media, or practice with whatever media you are best and comfortable with? This is a great question, and you're really asking, where should I spend my time? Do I practice a little bit of everything, or really focus on perfecting one type of medium? There's a lot of different answers to this question, but from my point of view, I feel like there is definitely a reason to, at the very least, try as many different kinds of mediums as possible. Now, when I'm talking about mediums, I'm talking about watercolor, like I'm doing here, acrylic painting, oil painting, just pencil drawing, color pencil drawing, really anything you can think of to make art. Now, if you were trying to perfect every single type of art medium, not only would you have no time to do anything else, but you would be spending a lot of money on art supplies. And you would likely spread yourself so thin across all these different types of mediums that you wouldn't really be able to perfect any one type of art, even in your entire lifetime. While I do think it's really important for you to see and try everything that's out there, I think the importance of that is to see what you like. I think it's really important for you to be able to see what different types of mediums work in different ways and get to know what feels right for you. Similar to finding your style, I think you have to try a lot of different things, and then at one point something will click. And I'll tell you a little bit about how that happened for me. I have a studio art degree from a 4-year university. I got both a studio art degree as well as double majoring in psychology. And as a part of this studio art degree, I had to pick a concentration, and I went into illustration. And that was really perfect for me. I definitely took a lot of different art classes, photography, graphic design. I at one point really wanted to do animation, and I couldn't get into the classes. I took web design. I took a lot of different things, similar to trying out a bunch of different mediums or different ways to apply art. I was trying all these different classes, and I eventually found the illustration classes and loved them. So decided on illustration and went ahead and concentrated in that, and took all of the upper division illustration classes as well, which opened up way more doors for mostly traditional art making, which is something that I feel like I invest in and something that I prefer. And ended up doing a lot of printmaking and acrylic painting, a little bit of oil painting, and a few other types of things. And I really enjoyed the painting. Oil painting was a little difficult, but acrylic paint seemed to make sense to me. And I made a lot of paintings in my classes, but felt like I was always kind of struggling with how to work with the paint, and ended up adding a lot of water to the acrylic paint and basically using it not to the best of what acrylic paint is made for. I watered it down and tried to thin it out, and it wasn't until after I got my degree and went back and took some extra art classes at a community college where I had to take a painting class, so I ended up taking watercolor for the first time. It finally clicked that I was basically trying to make acrylic paint into watercolor by adding this water to paint that is just not made for that sort of process. And I realized that, oh, this is what I'm supposed to be doing, watercolor. And it took a while and it didn't click right away, but once I was in that class and learned that I really did enjoy the act of controlling the water on the paper and adding just a little bit of color at a time, starting from lights to darks and other basic ways that you use watercolor, I really enjoyed it, and it clicked, and I realized this is something I want to focus on, and that is what I do most of my art in right now. Now, this doesn't mean that I don't paint in acrylic or oil or any of those other things anymore. I still have some acrylic paints, and I've been wanting to get back into that, and I would love to gain more skills in some of those areas. But for right now, watercolor is what makes sense to me, and I'm working on my skills to become a better watercolorist. So right now, it makes the most sense for me to be pouring my time into watercolor painting and developing those skills. Now, in a year or two, that might change. I might want to go completely back into acrylic or maybe even oil. I've been thinking about that a little bit, even though I'm a little intimidated by it. I never want to stop learning, and that's my best advice to you, is try a little bit of everything, but if something feels right, really pour more time into it. Possibly pour a little bit of extra money in getting some better supplies, because some really cheap watercolor versus even just student grade, not artist, just student grade watercolors can make a really big difference. That's my advice. I hope that that was really helpful to you and you enjoyed this video. Here is the end result, along with his badger friend. Thank you so much for watching, and make sure to like and share the video and subscribe if you don't want to miss anything else. Until next time, bye guys.